Okay, so let me welcome one of the most famous racers of all time in Formula One, the former 6 times Grand Prix winner in Formula One Championship, Ralf Schumacher.
Hi.
Hi, Ralf. Welcome. I'm really glad to talk with you and appreciate that you found some time to spend with us. Did you came here by car, by the way?
I was driven because, there was, I didn't drive myself.
You didn't drive yourself?
But I just came from the hotel, was driven here because I don't know my way around in Prague that much, so that's why.
And once you drive, do you still have the adrenaline in your blood to, go fast?
No, not on the road, to be honest. I mean, for me, it was always like racing is on a track and road, it's all the same rules. Certainly being in Germany, where some places you can go full gas, basically no speed limit, that's nice. But apart from that, it's normal.
Yeah. Do you find hard, to go fast, not to go fast in Czech Republic, because of the speed limits?
No.
Because you know the story, because we tell that we can't have best drivers because we have a speed limit on our highways.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's not an issue, but I have to say, maybe on a normal road here I would go 10 kilometers more, maybe sometimes 20, but that's it.
I really like the story about Juan Pablo Montoya, your teammate back in Williams. He once said that you're a bloody fast pilot. And you were on 27 podiums in Formula One. So my question is, if the police officers know,
I have to say, depends where you are. In Italy, there's still no. In Germany, some as well, But I remember in our times when here and there you got stopped by police for whatever reasons. Not so much speeding, I have to say. Then yes, they're recognized. But as I said, we had to pay fines as anybody else, and I think that's reasonable and should be like this, because at the end of the day, rules are there for safety, so everybody has to follow them.
What do you say about Czech drivers, Czech racers? Is there any difference between German drivers, German racers?
I think, honestly, nationality doesn't count, just talent and speed. And there is no difference. There's good drivers from all over the planet, so why not from here?
We are, and you would probably understand because you're from Germany, so as we have a great history in automobile industry. We are kind of proud of being a good driver. And I heard that you have a Formula junior team.
Yes, Formula 4, yeah.
You're looking for some talents.
Yeah, well, we always, we're working with Charus Racing together in this, yes, last year we had Tom Beckhäuser, but Tom is obviously not the classical race driver. He started very late, and this year, not the whole team has been announced, but there's some good drivers again. One Czech driver as well.
Okay, we're looking forward. Have you found new Tomáš Enge for your team? Or new Ralf Schumacher? Some great talent?
I think as I said, we have some good talents in the Formula 4.
One name?
It's too early to say. There's a press release yesterday, Sauber junior team. There's part of that. For example, Roman Staniek is going to be part of it, and he's very promising already in Gocart. I know him from there because I have a Gocart team as well. He was not driving for me, but for another team. And there's 2 more talents. I cannot mention the name yet, but
you're proud of them.
So I'm sure they do good. And since this year, we as well do the Formula 3 regional. We have 2 drivers there, and it's really nice to follow all those young drivers, I have to say.
You're still in the business. I see the enthusiasm about race driving, and it's obvious, and I completely understand. Do you sometimes miss the races?
No, I've been asked actually today 4 or 5 times the question, never before, and I always answer the same. At one point I decided not to race anymore, and I didn't enjoy it anymore. So this is a clear no, I don't miss it at all. I would miss not being part of motorsport, and seeing it from this side now, organizing a race team is very competitive. Trying to help the young guys to go the right direction, and if they win is the same like you win yourself, to be honest. So maybe that's why I don't miss it that much.
So do you feel better as a manager than as a race driver?
Well, I think there's a certain age in life you have to think what you're doing. It's like a football player. He can play maybe till mid-30, maybe a little longer, some of them, but after that it's better they stop playing and be trainer or whatever. And I think it's the same in racing.
Apart from your team and junior Formula, do you still watch the championship on TV from your couch, or do you attend the championship?
Formula 1, you mean?
Yeah.
Not so often. I have to say the last season a little more because it became more exciting again. There was a certain period where let's say Mercedes was so dominant where it was almost boring to watch. This has changed a bit. So yes, frequent or here and there I still watch the race. Problem is, since I do more than 20 kart events, all the Formula 4 events, Formula 3 events, you spend so much time on the weekend and then you have collisions with Formula 1 and you don't really have the time to watch it. Me.
Yeah, I got it. You're busy man, but still, you know about the technical, changes that went
more or less, yes,
through in the Formula 1.
Yes.
What do you think about Halo? Maybe for the people, sorry, for the people who don't know what is it, I will just quickly explain. That's a safety device or crash. It's preventing the crash. It's above your head. It looks like a halo. So what do you think? Because it was a little bit controversy about it.
Well, I think anything that makes Formula 1 or Formula racing more safe is welcome. I remember the time when I started, we even didn't have the head side support, and some drivers were complaining when they raised the sidewalls to save the head. Then they invented the hand system. Then again, some stupid driver said that's not the right way, and lucky they proved to be right in both cases, and it saved a lot of lives. Now this system, I mean, obviously with a horrible incident, I think it's almost 3 years ago in Japan.
At least, yeah.
This is basically to prevent that. And maybe it's not the nicest look on earth, but if it does the job, then I'm more than happy. And I have to say now it's in Formula 2, it's in Formula 3, it's in the Formula 3 regional. It's going to be implemented from next year onwards in Formula 4. So it makes the life of our racing kids a lot more safe, and for the Formula 1 drivers certainly as well. So anybody who criticizes it should come up with a better idea first, or otherwise shut up, in my opinion.
Speaking of criticism, you know what I miss from Formula 1? The sound of engines.
This is clear. I have to say I was, because we had a Formula 4 event in Germany with Formula 1 together, and sometimes I didn't even know whether they were running or not, because you cannot hear them. And then there was the old, I think Formula Boss, they call it, I don't know, the old Formula 1 cars. And this was,
I think so. Yeah,
and this was, really noisy. I think working there, honestly speaking, when I was there, always annoyed me a bit because you couldn't barely talk, in the pits and when they started the engine and so on. But yes, you're right, you miss this emotion, this is clear. And
the atmosphere, the atmosphere from races.
What I don't understand, I'm sure there could be, I don't think today's technical possibilities, there should be a possibility basically to have a sound back. And I think it's quite important for the spectators as well, because the cars are really sophisticated and beautiful now, I have to say. If you look at them compared, my time now, and I have wider again, bigger tires, that's all nice, but the sound is average, I would call it.
Yeah. Also the smell of the burning rubber and burning petrol. Because have you ever seen Formula E?
No, alive I haven't been there. I saw some events, but it's a different world, and I think it's important that motorsport has that side too now, with all the demands we have now in our natural environment, I would say. For me, it's not the perfect solution because it's first of all still not 100% green solution if you consider all the generators in the back plus the batteries.
You're right.
So it's a bit of, anyway, it's more show for me in the moment, but at least it's a step in the right direction, which I think we should take for the future maybe.
But are you still petrol head?
Well, I think I grew up in a different generation, yes, sure. But I have to say I tried an electric car.
Have you?
Yes, and it is quite nice on a daily basis that you don't hear your car, whether it's phone calls, whether it's listening to music. So there is some interesting...
So you kind of enjoy it?
You can enjoy it, yeah. And I think some people, they're not so much into motorsport. I think they would rather spend the time in the internet or whatever. So I think we need clearly autopilots and whatever for the future. And I think that's the future is going to change in cars, I guess.
We will see. Without drivers, there will be driverless cars. And, are you looking forward for this future? Because as a man who likes to drive.
Yeah, but you know, I have to say, okay, I'm only 43 yet, but still, the last 20 years, only on the electronical side, a lot has happened on a car, on the safety, a lot has happened. And so far, it has always gone the right direction, so I have a big trust in our engineers that future will be even better.
Back to your racing career. I remember the race, and I really loved the race back then in 2001. When you and your brother Michael battled for victory in Canada. Just to remind you, Michael led in the early stages, then you took the lead when he was in a pit stop, I think. Then you finally won, so it had to be such a wonderful, you know, feeling after the race, because it was like competitive battle that we haven't seen before. Do you remember the race?
It's not quite.
18 years.
I just remember that I won in Canada, but I don't remember the race, no.
And do you remember some of the other battles that you as brothers had back?
I mean, we all here and there frequently had battles, but not as many as I wished to have, because, you know, basically, let's say, a driver needs a good car around him, a good package in Formula One, and sometimes we hit it quite well with the Williams, but we had terrible years too, and then obviously you're not really in the way, or you cannot really fight your positions that you normally do, and certainly in this period Ferrari was so strong, you know, with Michael, so it was, I mean, almost impossible to beat them. So that's when it happened sometimes, for whatever reason, it was very special. And I think Canada was one of a good race. But I have to say, a lot of that was down to BMW, because at that stage we had really good engines. And Canada was one track where you could use this disadvantage.
How about your parents? Were they proud of you?
I don't know. I have to say my father and mother, I mean, they always supported us. But they never loved motor racing, so I think my father has been to 2 or 3 Formula One races in total, maybe 4, that's it. He never joined before, and he's not into motorsport.
I heard a story about you driving a small plastic cars around your house in Germany. I read it in one of the interviews you said, and I was just, you know, I was just wondering if it's true or not, because it wasn't said by you personally, it was written by some of the reporter. I was wondering, what's the formula to be a good Formula driver? What was your magic spell? Because I was also driving in small plastic cars around my house, and I'm the reporter now. And you became one of the most famous drivers.
I was simply lucky, I think, because, you know, my father worked on a karting place, and ever before school or after school, when it was possible on holidays, I was sitting in the Gocart and driving my laps. Certainly not on a level like they do these days, but at this time motorsport was not as popular, so there was not so many people thinking of becoming a professional motor. I mean, I didn't think about it this time, honestly. I mean, I was a kid, but I think today, you know, it's all planned. They have managers from the age of 10, 11, and you know, karting is all. I mean, it's all planned and managed by whoever, and so it all has become more difficult and different than the other days. For me, I was playing, enjoying, and by playing and enjoying, I just improved. You know, I did karting. I was fast in karting. Then I had the chance to do a Formula Junior race. My first race, I finished second. So, you know, the sponsors saw it. They said, okay, we want to keep this guy in the car, and then it went on. You know, then obviously Michael was quite successful already in Formula One a year later or two. So this helped too. So it was, you know, our career was for sure not planned.
But maybe the difference is also the money. I mean, now it's like professional industry. I can't think of any other super professional industry as a Formula One is.
Yeah, but then horse riding is very expensive too.
You're right. Have you tried it? Have you tried it yet?
I tried horse riding, yeah.
You like
jumping.
It?
Yes, I did. From the age of 10 to 6.
So not only have horses under the bonnet,
yeah,
but also
No, I was into that. But I say, you know, like it's incredible money involved into horses. So I think, but you're right. I mean, these days it became more difficult, I have to say, because only karting is so expensive now that parents cannot afford it mostly.
Yeah, you're right. Speaking about the horse riding, you know the story that from the horse, the world, to see the world is the most beautiful thing you can see in your life.
Yeah.
I think maybe the truth is this behind the wheel. That's the most beautiful.
No, that depends on that.
Yeah. By the way, speaking about you and your brother, I know that you're securing the privacy of his health very, strongly. We respect that. Is that still true?
Yes.
Yes, that's true. We will respect that. So great, because I have a question about your and his son, because they keep the family name in the industry. They both driving very well.
I mean, Mick for sure. I mean, he won his Formula 3 European title, which was a great year of him, and now he's into Formula 2. Test looking well, so I'm quite positive for him. I mean, he made a big step last year. David only started. We did 1 year Formula 4, so we have to wait and see.
But they are plenty talented, right?
I don't know. We'll see.
Is it in the blood?
I don't think. I mean, there is. I think it's just that hobby you follow and you like. I mean, speaking for David, I put him into go-kart with the age of 4. Then he just continued. He always liked it. And to be honest, it was a good tool for me to make sure he was good in school, because every time he was bad in school, I told him that we stopped go-kart, and then
it worked.
It worked well. So only for that reason was perfect. Kept him out of bars, and he doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink. So that's, I think, is that in general, if you follow a sport as a young kid and the parents support it, it makes them more mature very early on, because obviously if you want to achieve something, you have to be fit, you have to be determined to go your way, and this helps. Not only motorsport, can be whatever, football,
chess,
for example.
But I can imagine that you're a good supporter.
Yeah, no, but it has been nice, and David, as I said, he always enjoyed what he's doing. That's most important. I never force him into, and I think you could rather, if you take it away from him, it would be more difficult for him.
But you're a proud father, right?
Well, I think every mother is proud of their kids. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for your time, Ralf. Have a great time. See you soon.